live with episode number 15. Let's give it
Yay!
15, we are
It's your boy Solomon.
And it's your boy Uncle Kel.
Hey, it's your girl Jordan.
And I'm Shadea.
So, we are short-handed tonight, as you can see, but we ain't worried about that, but they will be back. We not worried about that.
He said
they handle it in their business.
See something.
I mean, hey, you know, we might have some hidden cameras around, you know what I'm saying?
Hello, it's us.
But, you know, they are handling their business. They gonna come back and they gonna rock with us next time. But to get it started, I believe this is the first show we've had since Kobe's passing, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it is. Mm-hmm. You know, R.P. Kobe, but I had a situation that I kind of came across once this whole Kobe thing happened. A lot of people I see take, you know, tragedies and stuff like that to go ahead and say, oh, you should check on your loved ones more often. Or, oh, let me make sure I talk to my mom or my daddy or my cousin or whoever it is that I kind of had differences with or whatever like that. Yeah. I feel like it's such a problem that that's the only time we wake up to see that we should check on people more. And we should not hold grudges and, you know what I'm saying, look at people certain ways no more, or, you know, have that ill feeling towards somebody. Like, I feel like it shouldn't have to come to somebody, you know, having a tragedy for you to say, dang, I need to check on such and such. I mean, I know we got into it 2 weeks ago, but I need to check on them. Like, that's something that I want to ask y'all, like, why it is that you think people gravitate toward that?
I think we take for granted people, like, we don't appreciate the people in our lives, so you go through your everyday life. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sure they're good. They post, they seem like they're okay, so I'm gonna keep on going with my life. And it's not until something tragic happens. Instead, it's like, dang, you know, I ain't talked to that person in 3 months, a year. I didn't even, maybe they crossed my mind, and when they crossed my mind, I was like, I wonder if they're okay, but I didn't reach out, you know? And so it's when something tragic happens that we're like, dang, I wish I would have taken that opportunity. But I feel like it's in those times that tragic things happen that it makes you realize that from here going on, I need to just take that time out. If somebody crosses my mind, it crosses for a reason, you know? I need to take, hey, just thinking about you, hope you're okay. And even if that person don't respond back, you did your reaching out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is true, because before Solomon goes, that's true, because I found myself guilty of doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I have family members that live within 20 minutes from me, and I have not seen or talked to them in like 5, 8, 7, whatever years. Like, and it's weird because, like, you know where they are or you know where they live, but it's like you haven't seen them like since you were in middle school, and I'm 21 years old, so it's like weird that happens.
I mean, I feel like oftentimes we, like Shadea said, we take things for granted. And a lot of times we just think like our minds just overlook things. So like if we kind of push things to the side, like Shaq was saying it, you know, in regards to Kobe. He said last time he even spoke to Kobe was his last game he played.
Which was weird because how close they were.
Yeah.
Even though they did have, you know, their little differences, but how close they were. And Kobe retired almost, 4 years ago? 5 years?
Year,
yeah, 5th year. And Kobe and Shaq haven't talked in 5 years, bro. Like, that's like saying LeBron and D Wade haven't talked in 5 years. Like, come
so
on.
like not having a actual conversation about just life in like 5 years. So that just goes to the fact that sometimes we get caught up in our busy lives and just push things to the side to where we forget about relationships.
Yeah.
So relationships are important. Like the people you're connected to and the people that help you get to a certain point in your life are so important to where you have to just keep, you know, being in contact with them. I kind of live by the principle, always find a way to communicate to the person that blessed you.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah.
So you never want to be so busy in life to where you cannot, it's hard for you to communicate to the person that pretty much either put you on, supported you, helped you get to another level.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you never know what if something happens to that person. How could you ever, you know, tell them, hey, I thank you for doing this to me. I wouldn't be here in my life. I wouldn't be at this stage in my life without you helping me. Now you can't even tell that person that because that person is gone, and you were so caught up in yourself and so busy
That
to
you
where
start to feel guilty.
Yeah, to where that you didn't even have the decency and the time to even hit them up about, okay, thank you.
Right.
Simple,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it just goes into being so worried about ourselves. We're so worried about self-care and the things we got to do that we don't take the time to reach out to people. We always expect people to just be there. They're always going to be there. They're always going to be good. You know, I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything. So it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, it is important, and I'm guilty of it. A lot of people are guilty of it. I don't know if it's within the Black community where we just don't, you know, we don't support each other enough. We're not there for each other enough, you know. You know, you get a call from this certain person, you're like, here we go. Like, I don't want to hear from them. So, you know, it's unfortunate. And we have to, like, understand that, like, life is short. And you never know when the last time you're going to see somebody. So.
And it's not like it even takes a long time to do it.
Right.
Like, you know, a quick text or a quick call, 2 or 3 minute call, and boom, that's over with. Like, you got it out the way. It don't take that much time to do it. So, I mean, you know, now you gotta, you know, kind of abide by the rule as, you know, practice what you preach.
Yep.
Because, you know, I mean, I can't think of everybody. Like I said, I have family members that I haven't seen or talked to in years, not because we fell out or we don't get along, but we just haven't. And it's like, oh, well, I mean, I know he's still alive somewhere. Like, that's how you kind of look at it. Even though the person is really like 20 minutes. I go to work 40 minutes away from my house. So somebody I, you know, have ties with as far as family-wise is 20 minutes away from me. I go to work 40 minutes every day, but I haven't seen this person that's 20 minutes from me in 6 years. Like, that's crazy.
And another thing, you never want to let it get to a point where something tragic has to happen for you to be like, oh, okay, I need to get myself together.
Yeah.
All right, you never want to I mean, that's what my mom always told me. Don't wait until something happens or someone dies to be like, okay, I need to start doing this.
Yeah.
Do it now so that you can live life with no regrets, for one. You can live life without any guilt also, because it'll come back and haunt you. And then it'll just lead you to a place where you're just deeply hurt because you're always remembering, like, okay, I didn't hit this person up before, you know, before they passed. So now you kind of have this stigma going on and this problem going on with just people, like abandonment problems. It'll just lead to all other types of stuff just because you waited for something, you know, terrible to happen to be nice.
And I wouldn't even say like it's a weight thing. It's just like,
Thing.
Wait.
It's like we think that we have time. Like we think you never think that. Oh, like when things happen, you know, it's like you never think it's gonna happen to you, or oh yeah, you know, I just seen them last month. You know, I got an extra 5 years with them. Whatever. You never know, like in that moment, something's gonna happen. You know, so it's on some, like I was saying, maybe they crossed your mind. Next day something happened. You know what I mean? Like it's just like we need to just start reacting in the moment.
Yeah.
Cause time is quick.
Everybody has an expiration date on them, and you don't know what.
You don't know when your time is.
Yeah.
So you need to start being nice. So if anybody being mean to me, you need to tell me.
Apologize.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell you thank you.
Yeah. I'm saying thank you to your.
Oh.
Yeah.
You need to apologize to me.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot. Sorry, y'all. But I've heard a lot, like, within families, it's like y'all only come together, like, when there's a funeral. And, you know, that's kind of crazy to me. And then there's a lot of drama that follows that funeral. You know, it's a lot of gossip. Y'all can't even come together for the right reasons. And I think just crazy stuff. And it's just like simply reaching out to your family member can do a lot because you don't know what these people are going through.
Right.
You don't know how much things have changed, and you don't understand how many things can change over a period of a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Half a decade at that. So it's just like, and then when you get on the phone with maybe somebody you haven't talked to in years, like y'all talking for hours at a time because it's like y'all got so much information
To catch up
to catch up on. So yeah, it just takes simply reaching out to people to maybe
Just
impact their
prioritizing.
lives. Yeah, you never know. But going into that, I just wanted to basically ask y'all opinion on people that seek validation from others. Like, I know I see this kind of with friendships. I see this on social media. So what do y'all think? Have y'all ever encountered people who, seek, validation from others?
A lot, yeah. I've seen it plenty of times, actually. I see, you know how you kind of got that one guy who's, I guess we use the word clout, have a lot of clout and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a lot of guys that hang around that guy a lot, and the guys that hang around them, those guys a little bit more than the guy that has quote unquote the clout.
Mm-hmm.
And you see those guys and they start to act different around that person with all this fame and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you like, dude, I know you.
Right.
That ain't you. Like, you just doing that for confirmation from this dude so he could be cool with you to say, you can hang around with me. Like, I've seen that so many times with guys. I've seen it with girls too, but I think the validation part is because what we see on social media. Like I said a lot in almost every show we have, I blame social media for a lot of this. Social media have given a lot of people a sight on I'm a gangster, or I'm a girl who need a sugar daddy. Like they've given all this stuff out here to make it look cool that a lot of us, and I say us because I'm a part of the generation, but I'm not a part of what they're doing with that as far as that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But it gives them to say, okay, it's cool to want a sugar daddy, pay me through college or do this, whatever. So let me go do that because that's what social media said.
Right.
Or you say, okay, let me go buy me a gun and walk around with my pants down and get some tattoos on my neck because I'm a gangster. No, you're not.
Right.
That's validation that you want from the public, from social media, to say, yeah, oh, that's what he is. Okay, he look like Young Thug, or he look like this rapper or that rapper. It's like, no, bro. That's just you want that validation from them to make you, the talk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We just live in a type of world that everybody just want to be liked, and I will do anything for people to like me.
Right.
I will buy things that for people to like me
That I can't afford.
Right. That I can't afford. Knowingly, they still not gonna like me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do it in the hopes of validation. Right. So people do things to be liked, say things to be liked, hang around people to be liked.
Post things.
Things to be like,
Keep
go
social media
places
in
to
it.
be like,
Make sure.
fake to be like.
Yeah.
Like everybody just want to be. They just want that attention from people so they can seem like, I'm living a great life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the cool kid on campus. I'm the cool kid on the block. The cool kid on the job.
And it's
Just
like,
for
why?
attention.
Yeah, it's like, why?
And going home and
And crying in
depressed.
the closet every day.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's for sure our generation thing, and then of course we pass it down because the kids under us look up to us. And so, because I feel like looking at our parents and grandparents, they did stuff, but they didn't do it for validation.
Right.
And so, I guess because they also didn't grow up in the social media world either, So we have all this comparison stuff. And when somebody is looking like us, if somebody is looking how we want to look, it's like, okay, well, maybe I need to do that so people can, like you said, like me. Maybe I need to do that so people can see me. Because, people think if I look a certain way or if I walk a certain way, talk a certain way, people going to see me differently. They're going to respect me differently, and it's not about that,
Also, it's a respect thing.
Yeah. And I think that's where the validation comes from. If I have this, if I have that, they gonna respect me. They gonna look at me a different way. And I think,
like I'm a king or something.
you know, and I think it's a mentality that we need to get out of our heads that it doesn't matter what they think. It's what you think. It's what God thinks about you. Really is where we're going. Like, God put you on this planet, not for validation from other people. You're
Validation of who?
him.
Okay.
So
That's her.
our generation needs to get that mentality that it doesn't matter what the next person thinks.
It don't. But who does it matter about though?
God,
Ooh.
hey, come on now.
I also think it's a self-esteem thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know, I was in deep thought. I was like self-esteem. I was like, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I feel like to avoid seeking validation from others, you have to determine your worth.
Oh, yeah.
You have to determine. You have to look inside yourself and say, "Who am I? This is who I am." You know, I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm smart. I know I have these, different capabilities. You know, I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and no matter, what somebody says or what somebody does to me, that stays the same. That's what's gonna help you is knowing who you are, because it doesn't matter if you put on a dress and somebody compliments you or not. You know you look good.
Right.
So you don't even have to go to social media and post this picture and hope somebody comment and say something about what you got on, because you know you got it.
Right.
You know?
You ain't got no self-esteem.
That's where it comes from for me.
That's all
So
it is.
yeah.
I'm telling you, that's a self-esteem thing.
Yeah.
Because self-esteem is how I feel about me.
Right.
If I have a low self-esteem, then that's what I'm gonna do. Seek validation of others. So I'm gonna post this pic, in which I'm not too sure about it, but if they sure about it, then I'm sure about it.
Yeah.
If they sure about it, I like it. And so it kind of brings me into thought, back to what I was saying earlier. We kind of tend to even apply this to dating. We date people based off the definition of us. Think about it.
Okay.
She said, okay.
I'm following you. Yeah.
Bet. So we date people by the definition of who we see we are. If I feel like I'm a great guy, then I'm finna feel like I put myself on this standard where I'm finna date somebody as great as me.
Oh, at me, because you about to come for me and I feel it.
Right? So if I feel like this is my philosophy. I'm finna make so many people mad, right?
Yeah.
So bear with me. So when we date, this time it's self-esteem, right? So when we date, they'll choose a bum not because they feel like they can build him, but they feel like that's all that they are capable of being. You know,
I see where you're going. They gonna look at you and be like, "Oh, so you pulled that," or it's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
so you building them up."
No, it ain't no build up.
I think people like projects. Like some people, like
Ooh,
they
a
get.
project.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people get this sense of identity or like some sense of self. I don't know, with, helping somebody else become who they want them to be, or growing somebody else. I don't know. I kind of feel like.
But why is that people's motivation to get in a relationship? Oh, I want to get in this because I want to help build you.
They want that. What's the word? Props. I feel like you want that. I did that. What's that recognition?
They want a cookie.
Yeah, the gold star.
Let me say this. I'll let y'all go get this thing. Let me say this.
Most people ain't gonna appreciate it though, anyway.
Okay, you got a point there, but this is the thing. This is the thing. And see.
Not get on my side.
See, the thing is, and this is my philosophy when I think about this. So, now, of course, back in the day, a lot of us chose, which nobody really said it, but a lot of us chose back in the day, and some of us still do now, looks. I know if I get this girl, all the niggas gonna be like, damn, how he get her. Same thing with women. Oh, I don't want him. His teeth is jacked up. They gonna be like, why you with him? Well, I don't want him. He wear the same shoes.
They gonna be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they gonna, So you feel like, if I get a dude who probably seemed like a pretty good guy, but he don't really look the part. So you kind of, same way how love don't cost a thing. I mean, I said love don't cost a thing.
A Fall from Grace?
No.
Oh.
Nick Cannon.
Love don't cost a thing.
Love don't cost a thing. Oh, wait. I can't think of that movie for nothing. That's crazy. That's a classic.
You said it again.
Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon.
Oh God, it can't love don't cost a thing.
Wait, man. I gotta find this right now. Nick Cannon.
Oh God, it love don't cost a thing.
I don't know.
Nick Cannon.
It'll blow your mind.
I kind of had a quick thought, but like it kind of reminded me like of high school.
He said, I got to find it now.
Nah,
Come on, validation. Validate your point.
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me of high school and like when you get into like a new relationship.
Love
or,
don't
like,
cost a thing.
Love don't cost.
2003. Y'all don't remember this movie?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah. So Love don't cost a thing. She was so into the perception of a good-looking basketball star type of dude, which was really not really worth nothing as far as his character.
True.
Where you got Nick Cannon, who was the goofy guy, you know what I'm saying? What Coach Buck would say, the goofy guy. The goofy guy, the nerd, didn't nobody really want to be around him. He was nice. He was the guy she needed as far as character, but he didn't look the part. So,
and he felt that he had to look like that.
and yeah, he felt that goes right into the whole conversation. He felt like in order to be noticed, he had to look like what everybody else wanted him to look like, or what everybody else looked like. That's okay. So he put on his little act and all this other stuff.
Mess.
Yeah,
That's really what it was.
Yeah, and it turned into a failure because that's not who he was. See, the thing I think we need to understand, fellow listeners, that if you pretend to be somebody, eventually you will be brought around to this is not who you are.
You'll be humble.
Eventually, it's something's going to happen to you where you say, nah,
This ain't it.
I can't do this one. But then you say, but this dude probably could do this because you're not him. Stop trying to be him. Be you. And that's where a lot of people get it so like misconstrued. It's like, bro, that's why I got this tattoo on me. Look, I got a tattoo.
Where is that?
I'm trying to, right here. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. That's all you got to do, bro. Be yourself.
Yeah.
You was born in 99?
98.
98?
Nope.
On what day?
October 26th.
October 26th. At whatever time he was born, he was the only baby, I promise you, born at that hospital at that time on that date in that room. He was the only one. I was the only one born April 6, 1998 at Parkland Hospital in that room. Nobody else can be that dude but me.
Right.
So let's stop trying to be somebody else when you don't even.
You gotta try harder to be somebody else.
Yeah,
being completely honest.
Go ahead. I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
I mean,
I want to give y'all another way to think about it. Like, I think that seeking validation.
Wait,
I think
Shadea is really getting me right now because I thought you were going to go into how it could be hard and it could even be more expensive sometimes to try to be somebody else. So I thought
Jordan had a point, so I was gonna come back.
Okay, go
yeah.
That's why I was waiting. I thought she was gonna die, but she said it and stopped.
No, I was just saying, I think that when it comes with seeking validation, it also has to do with allowing other people's opinions to affect your decisions.
Yep.
You know, like you often reach out to other people for advice on your life, and you rather take their opinion, rather than your own judgment. Yeah. And sometimes that's not the right thing to do because a lot of people either don't have the answers, they don't want to tell you the truth, or they haven't been, in your shoes to even give you like the valid advice. So I think that's another thing. Like,
that's a good point right there.
Yeah. I think that's what comes with seeking validation. So what do y'all think?
That's a great point. But like I said, it could be hard as hell to be somebody else or try to be somebody else, and it could be more expensive too.
It just takes more effort. Like, what you think that if I do all of this, then like we said, like they'll like me, but you got to spend more money, like he was saying. You got to do more research. You got to go out and fake. You have to put on the fake. It takes effort to be fake.
Yeah.
Like,
a costume every day.
you have to think about, okay, I'm about to go out here, I'm about to put on this smile, I'm about to do this. That takes more effort than just, you know what, I'm about to give them the wrong real me, and if they don't accept me, then oh well.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I feel like that kind of goes into my topic in a way, because we allow circumstances and situations to allow people back into our lives when it's like, you know, if they're out, they're out. Back to like the validation part. If they don't accept me, then they don't accept me. But we take like grief, for example. Somebody passes away and they're like, you know what, reach out to those people who did you wrong. Actually, if they did me wrong, I don't necessarily have to reach out back to them, because why? Why do I need to allow that toxic right back into my life because somebody has passed away and you want me to realize it? No. That may have happened 5 years ago. Why am I resurfacing that? Because we want to acknowledge the now. You know what I mean?
Look, I know what you did in the past wasn't right, but I forgive you in a way 2 years later.
And what you doing tonight? Like, no. For you to be right back in the same situation? No. I mean, why are we so, like, stuck in that we want to use excuses to allow people back into our
I'm
lives?
gonna say this, and I've said it twice on the show already today.
Ooh, I got something to say too.
I blame social media. The reason is because social media tends to make us feel like whatever they said, it should be that way. If you see a tweet and it says a quote, the quote can be saying, the sky is orange and red. If that certain tweet get 5,000 retweets, hell yeah, niggas.
That part. Period.
It is.
It is orange and orange. Red.
You go outside.
And you'll see blue and you'll be like, nah, I think that's orange and red. It's because the tweet said whatever it said, and it got so much, you know.
We're so naive. Okay, see, and I thought it was, I fell for it, not even gonna lie.
I didn't even try it. I sat in my bed and watched video after video, and I never got up and grabbed a broom.
And it still stands up to this day.
But a balance game. But, what I had to say, it's gonna hurt a lot of people, but guess what? We gonna proceed.
The truth hurts.
It does.
Oh yeah.
But
we need a lot of people to understand that.
If you feel like a loss or anything has the right to let you go back.
Oh, come on
and
back.
Text somebody about something that happened in the past. You never got over that person from the get-go.
All right.
Because if you did, you wouldn't be concerned about what happened in the past, but instead you will be propelling towards whatever your future has to bring you, right? So if anything, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. If you decide to go back, retrace steps, and hit up somebody, it doesn't look. Whatever y'all had in the past, y'all settled it in the past. That's why you are who you are today. You didn't hit this person up for 2 years. So what in the heck that made you to decide to hit somebody up that misconstrued?
Misconstrued.
It's a stitch.
Misconstrued. I got you.
What?
Misconstrued.
There it is. Misconstrued.
Shrewd.
No,
misconstrued.
Misconstrued.
Baby, they gonna be like, what are they trying to say?
I'm telling you,
Jesus.
misconstrued. I've heard this word.
Misconstrued.
Misconstrued.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway, whatever. Like,
Anyway.
nothing should allow you pretty much to retrace steps and hit up somebody that caused pain to you in your past. Because if it does, and if you decide to do it, you tend to never even forgot about that person and still welcome that person in your life. You still have that door open because you pretty much easily walked through the door to hit them up.
I feel like you are defeating your growth process.
Thank you.
It's taking you all this time to get where you are. You gonna let a little bitty thought push you back. It's like you know, you went through the tears, you went through the heartbreak, or you went through whatever you went through. You over it. You know, they living their life, you living yours, and it's like, but no. Keep going. Whatever is behind you is behind you.
Yeah, you said it.
Like, it is what it is.
I think it's also easy going back to what's comfortable and what's familiar. And
That's
it's
it.
like we just allow these people in our life just because we know what to expect with them. Yeah, it may not be, you know, the best time, but you know, there's heartache and you know, there's trust issues and there's this and that. But yeah, we have good times and yeah, I know what to expect and yeah, you know. So I think that's kind of what it comes back to, like just being, feeling like a level of comfortability with this person. So
letting stuff slide.
Tolerating.
It wasn't that bad.
yeah, it wasn't that bad.
If it wasn't that bad, you would be
Mediocre.
But now you're not.
That's bad. That's super bad. Like, I feel like you cannot allow yourself, like Shadell said, to move forward and then purposely set yourself back.
Yeah.
Like, now,
Very
we
ghetto.
can see if you make a mistake. You know, sometimes you have to make a mistake to understand that, you know, you shouldn't do what you just did. And it kind of sets you back a little bit. But I'm not going to purposely go set myself back. Like, what was the point of me moving forward if I'm going to purposely set myself back?
You preaching.
Yeah, like, we can't allow ourselves to do that because, you know, a lot of us say, oh, I'm over my own life, or nobody could, you know, have this much power over me. When you make decisions like that, that person has that power over you.
Yeah.
That person has that influence over you in a negative way.
Yep.
So, like Shadell said, do not purposely retract if it's going to be negative.
Because you're going to be right back at square one.
Yeah.
Don't set yourself up for failure.
True.
Like,
Y'all. Well, I mean, I'm sure we're thinking about it, you know, on a relationship standard, even friendship.
Yeah.
The whole relationship.
Family, all that.
Yeah. So the whole relationship
not.
between y'all ended because of something that you didn't like. So you're going back to something you didn't like. Why would you drive a car looking in the rearview mirror? I am working in here.
Oh, yeah.
In church, you preaching, preacher.
Let them use you.
You preaching.
Can't drive forward looking in the rear. Try.
You can do it.
Hit something
Crash.
You're going to crash. You're going to hit somebody. You
And
gonna
guess
hit
who?
something.
And guess who's not gonna be hurt? The person you was looking at.
Oh.
I think we're going to stop the show on that one.
That's
That
good.
boy is preaching.
I'm working.
They ain't gotta come fix the car. They car fix. They chilling.
They going to keep driving.
Yeah. They gonna drive past you.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
They gonna drive past you.
And guess what? They ain't looking back.
Oh.
Uh-oh. God.
But that was a message for y'all
Yeah.
not to drive a car looking in the rearview mirror. Give him a hand. Right?
Give him a hand clap, everybody.
But we not done because I got to ramble.
Okay. Here we go.
So I was thinking about this on my way home one time when I was talking to somebody on the phone. I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and she was saying how she expect this out of a guy. You know, a guy that's pretty much like, you know, early 20s, late teenage age. He's a young guy. So
A child.
pretty much. So she was saying like how she has all these expectations of somebody so young. So I was thinking, why do we tend to try to shape and mold men to the people that we want them to be? Or is even society building men to be ready for, you know, that next level, that stage in life? Like, are we actually building our men to be in relationships or in marriage?
No.
I'm gonna let Shadell talk, but I wanna say my
And I'm-
famous line.
Social media.
I blame social media.
That's
for all
what
of
it
this.
is,
I
because
blame them.
Social media, because every single day it's on some, well, I can do this and get away with it, or, you know, oh yeah, well, this is what I do with my girl and she's still here. And if I was like, oh, if he did it, I probably can do it too. And so when y'all don't want to grow up, y'all want to be stuck in your same ways, like, if I don't have to do it, I'm not. If she not gonna make me do it, I'm not. Like that. I feel like that's the men's mentality with me not being a man. You know, I'm just assuming from observation. It's like, if I don't have to go be at that standard, then I'm not gonna be there. And so, for when it comes to the female side, it's like, dang, bro, okay, I'm gonna try to get him out of this mindset. But when his friends is doing it, his brother's doing it, and they not telling him to be better, yeah, bro, whatever. Yeah, you can have hoes, you know, it ain't nothing. You got a solid female, like, but you want to have hoes out here, like, what?
You pretend.
Because your homie's like, yeah, bro, it's whatever, we up. Okay, you're not gonna be young for long, and them hoes not gonna be there. But you know that's solid. She gone to the next who did appreciate her.
Yo.
Preach, word.
Yeah.
So we're not building. You're here, and this is the root of it. You're the people you surround yourself around. They not building you up.
Yeah.
And so when you go in to get that girl, you not prepared because your homies didn't even
help.
They didn't lace you up. They just said, yeah, bro, go ahead and hit her and quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, willy nilly.
Y'all feeding each other negativity.
Poison, yeah.
Yeah, and then you expect what I'm supposed to do with that? Have a hope that maybe you gonna change? How? Make it make sense, cause it don't. But let me not get.
We gotta play devil's advocate.
Oh,
here we go.
Yes,
but you know what? Because go ahead and play it, because I was turned up on that, but I can clearly see how it can be the other way too. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Solly.
Nah, I'm gonna let you go first.
I'll go first.
Go.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So I feel like age is an excuse. I feel like we all have the opportunity to learn, especially if we didn't have influences in our life to teach us how to be a decent man. You know, it's basic morals that I feel like certain people are lacking. Just respect. You know, just learning to be in a committed relationship. These are simple things that you don't have to, you know, learn when you're 30, 40 years old, because you don't understand that the decisions you make right now affects your life. So if you want to play around and act a fool and destroy people's lives, potentially, you know, if you learn that behavior now and you never correct it, once you go into your older years, you know, you'll ruin your children's lives, you'll ruin your life, your family, you know, you'll lose everything because you're too focused on, you know, what your boys is doing or what your boys said back then, or never growing from your mistakes.
Back to that validation thing. You think if you do this over here, your boy is gonna be like, oh yeah, bro, that's good. If you do something solid, they gonna be like, what you doing? What you doing? Nah, that's not a part of the plan.
Yeah.
Somebody gotta be leading by example. If y'all, the blind can't lead the blind. That's what y'all doing.
True.
Yes.
But also,
Here we go.
Come on, I might
for my
have you down.
fellas, when we are in relationships, or even before we get in relationships, we'll ask a girl, okay, what are you looking for? I want him to do this, I want him to do this, I want him to do this. I'm like, damn, I'm not even on that level.
Well, you
yet.
asked.
You
asked. Why ask if you
Okay,
asked?
on to the next, I want your ass. I need time to grow. Men need time to grow, right?
How long do you need to grow?
How long did it take y'all to grow? Y'all been preparing to be women that's ready for marriage since a young age.
Because we plan our weddings as kids. Like,
what were we doing at you know,
rolling in dirt,
Yeah.
being some heathens, and
Destroying things.
still destroying shit now.
Right.
Trying stuff.
But
you
that's
shouldn't
the
be trying.
disconnect. It's like, why isn't, you know, men building men to be in relationships?
Because we don't even have
Oh, okay.
Ouch.
Oh, okay.
That brings me to
shout out to my daddy, though. I love you, man.
Yeah.
I hope you're watching this.
Yeah. See,
I feel like men can only like really raise men,
Yeah.
you know?
and that's the
That's a good
absolute
point.
truth, because like Solomon said, you know, he made a joke about it because it's really not his situation, but I will use my own situation.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't have anybody to grow us to be men. We have to learn a lot on our own. Like I learned, don't get me wrong, my mom was there from day one, she still is, but like Jordan said, a man is the only person who can raise a man.
Yeah.
Not a woman.
My mom, a sister.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're the same, but we're not.
Right.
And when I say we're the same, we human. We have feelings. You know, different stuff does get to us. Some stuff that gets to you might get to me, and vice versa. So I feel like that's true, but then we separate because y'all go through certain stuff physically and mentally that we will never go through.
Right.
And then we go through stuff, you know, mentally, physically too, that y'all will never have to experience. So at the end of the day, if you don't have anybody there to try, you know, to lead you in a path that you should go, it's like you just have to expect for those bumps and bruises throughout the way, because it's a lot of stuff that I had to learn on my own. Like, I didn't have a daddy to say, hey, if you go right there, you're gonna get, you know, screwed up. If you go over here, you know, you'll be all right. So as a kid, you kind of grow up and say, okay, I'm gonna either do this or I'm gonna do that. I ain't got nobody to tell me to do right. So which way is right? You don't really know. So you go, and if you pick the wrong one, you just got burnt. Like, that's just what it was. Like,
but I feel like if you get burnt, some people still don't learn from that burnt situation.
True. They don't, because I think a lot of times, and it's not just with men, it's, I think, with anybody.
Yeah.
If you do something and it doesn't go your way, and you, like I said, you get burnt on it, or you just, you know, fail at it, if it didn't destroy you completely, you might try to play with it again.
Yeah.
To see, okay, maybe I didn't do something right that time. Maybe I was supposed to go right, left instead of up, down.
Right.
So it's like, okay, let me do it again another way. And then you pop back again. Then you try to figure out another way. And it's like, how foolish do you have to be to understand that whatever you're doing with this direction is not going to work? Let's try something over here now. But, you know, depending on how many times you try that wrong one, you might not have an opportunity ever to try the right one. So as far as the whole girls, you know, kind of grow up a little faster because they started at whatever age you said, probably 5-6 years old, talking about you want a wedding. You don't even know what the hell a wedding is. You just know.
I mean, family, you think talk about some kids and you a kid.
A pretty dress and a handsome dude. That's all you know. You don't really understand that, you know, the concept of it fully. But a guy, we're not worried about that. We're worried about, who can run the fastest, who can catch the ball, who can go mouse somebody, who can dunk on somebody. We're not worried about all that other stuff. Who can fight the best. Yeah, who can fight, who can do this, who can score on each other the most. Like, that's what we're focused on. That's more entertaining for us. Like how y'all play house and stuff like that, which is, wait, I ain't gonna say another conversation for another episode. I'm gonna use it for this episode. Y'all play house. That's something that, you know, you could call it stereotypical if you want to, but growing up, you wanted to be the mama. You wanted to do this. You wanted to have a baby. You want to do all that. So I feel like we weren't doing that. So when you look at it, and this gonna make you think, it's gonna make a lot of people think, y'all grew up playing house. So what do y'all naturally do?
It's our nature. It's our nature to be like that. So we embrace that. But I feel like a lot of men don't embrace their role.
Right. So listen.
And I feel like they have
I don't embrace their role because they don't know.
That's my whole point. You grew up, so it's like you're practicing for that role. Once you get put in that role, you good. You're more good than I am because I didn't practice that. That's just like, okay, I started playing football. Not saying this is always the case, but I started playing football when I was 4 years old. By the time I was 15, I was pretty good. Versus somebody who started at 12, and when they got to 15, we're both at 15. But I'm a little better because I've been at this for a while now. That's how it came for y'all. Y'all grew up playing this and playing with dogs and playing with house and taking care of babies. So y'all are more into it than the guy or the person that grew up, you know, just over here out there.
Okay.
He didn't grow up, you know, having, you know, he didn't have that. That preparation like y'all did. So he's mentally not really ready.
I think it comes from just like a lack of respect because I think it comes from a lack of respect, and I hope nobody takes this the wrong way, but I feel like when you are a child and you're in a home and you don't have a father figure, you often look to your mother, and she's often doing all the work, taking care of everything, being the mom and the daddy. So y'all grow up feeling like, oh, y'all see y'all mothers being beat down or disrespected or, you know, taking care of everything, y'all have this kind of sense, this warped sense of that's what women are supposed to do. We're not supposed to do everything or take care of everything. So now it's like it's a discussion of, oh, do I pay for the first date or not? Do I do this and that as a man? The things that y'all are supposed to do, y'all now feel like I don't have to do that.
Right.
And to your point, I agree with everything you just said. But that goes back to this. If you grew up with your mom, I'll use myself. I grew up with my mom. I never once saw my mom being beat by her husband that she was with, her ex-husband. They argued, who doesn't? But I've never, saw my mom beat physically by her ex-husband. So with me, it's more like, okay, I never saw that, so I'm not going to do that. Because if I don't see something, how can I really, do it firsthand? Of course, I've heard about it. I've probably seen some other of my friends. They probably have that going on in their household. But that goes back to that. I didn't see that, so I'm not doing that. Now, sometimes, you're so naive as a kid that you start to believe stuff as you get older. And I say that, and it's kind of it's more, what I just said is really more to what I said. It's bigger than what I said. Sometimes you're so naive as a kid that you might see daddy slap mama real quick. But what you see mama still with daddy. So you say, okay, that's just kind of maybe how that goes. So you get a little older and you try that. She's supposed to stay. She's supposed to be down for me like my mama was for my daddy. She's supposed to be down for him. He slapped her. She never went anywhere. So if I slap you, you shouldn't go anywhere. Some people think like that.
Yeah.
They're naive. So that's why we have these generations and generations of woman beaters, because they've seen it. And not like, all of them. Now, you do have some who grew up in great households and they do what they want to do. But for the most part, I feel like it's because they've seen it and it was like, oh, okay, that's cool to do. So even though it's not, that's just like selling drugs. If you're a kid in the hood and you see your big brother and his homeboys, they selling dope and they going to get all the new J's that come out because they can afford it because they selling dope, you say, okay, I want some Jordans. That's what I got to do to get them. Okay, bet. I'll join. And then it goes on and on and on from there.
So I have a question. At what point, and I don't know if it's a point, but from the men's perspective, does that switch happen?
I think the switch happens when your maturity level allows you to see that that's not the right thing to do. So like you said, you probably don't think it's a point. Everybody's kind of different. Yeah. With the whole how we grow up or when we grow up.
So it's not an age thing, it's a mentality.
It's a mentality. And that's why I tell a lot of people, being grown is not an age. Yeah. You can be 19 and be grown. Right. You can be 25 and be a child. It's a mentality, because you have kids who are 15, 16 years old who, let's just, throw out a scenario, have a little brother or little sister that they actually have to care for. Yeah. Because the mom is on drugs or the dad's on drugs or whatever's going on. They went and got a job as soon as they could because they got to provide for them and their sibling. So in my eyes, that's being grown. That's taking care of, as we call them, grown people responsibilities. But here I am, this is not my situation, but let's just say here I am at 21. I still live at home with my mama. I don't pay no bills. I don't, have no big responsibilities going on. I'm grown as far as my age? No. To the system, yeah, I'm grown, because they can try me for an adult. If I do anything negative like they want me to do, that's a situation that we're going to talk about on another show. But I'm not grown because I don't do nothing grown. Yeah. What do I do that's grown? I go to work. Okay, cool, but 15-year-olds go to work too. As soon as they get their little, job at McDonald's or whatever, minimum wage, is that grown? Are they grown because they work at McDonald's and have a job? Not really. I feel like grown is a mindset with action. So just like, growing up and being mature, that's it just not have to be about, age. everybody's maturity level comes in at a different age.
Yeah.
So men really, if we're being completely honest, men cannot blame women for wanting you to be at a certain standard. I'm being completely honest. I feel like you can't blame us for wanting you to be, because to us it's like, okay, cool, maybe we go back to the age thing. Okay, we 21, 22, whatever. At some point you should be, okay, let me think about my future, but you stuck in this high school way, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So for us, and because we've been through this same routine our whole lives, we're already here. We want somebody to be right there with us. I feel like we shouldn't have there should be no blame, like, why you want me to be right here? Yeah, I've trained to be where I am right now, but you should look at me and want to be better. Like, I feel like you should look at the woman you want to be like, okay, you know what? If she's at a certain standard, it doesn't matter if I'm not there right now, but I'm going to work to where I want to be. It doesn't matter what everybody else is telling me. Like, if that's the one I really want, then I'm going to do what I got to do.
I want to agree and to disagree. You're right. Men should not blame women for wanting that, but I feel like women shouldn't blame men for not being there at that time that they want them to be there.
I think that's an excuse.
No, because it goes back to the whole, and you can throw age in there as well. You might say, okay, you're 21, you're doing this, and this. So I need a man who's doing this, and this at 21 years old, just like me. I can't be mad at you for wanting that, but you can't be mad at me if, let's just hypothetically say, your family were millionaires, and you know you're 21, but you've experienced all this stuff that the average 21-year-old hasn't.
Yeah.
So that's why, because your parents had the funds to send you to this camp and this over here and put you in this right here, and now you're at a level to where, you know, you can really succeed on your own, basically. My family didn't have all that money. I couldn't go see this and see that. I didn't see those opportunities as early as you did because the funds wasn't there like your family's funds were. But you got to level 8 at 21. I might not get to level 8 till I'm 23. So you got to be okay with me trying to get there at some point and not be there when you're there just because you're there and you want me there with you at the same time.
You said this, trying to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing when I can see an effort of somebody trying to get there. It's another when you want to be stagnant.
But that goes, I feel what you're saying, but I think we have to go back to, I don't want to use the word comfortability, but if you say, okay, I don't see him trying at all. Like, I just see he do the same thing every day. It's the same old thing every week, every month. I don't see him trying to make any progress. I feel like this is another thing I think we might all agree with. I think communication would be key. Have you sat down to talk with him? Or are you just looking at it from a distance saying, okay, he ain't made no more money. He ain't did this, he ain't did that. Have you asked him, hey, like, are you working on something? Like, do you have something in the plan? Or do you have something in the oven cooking? What is it? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like we sit back and we say, oh, that person ain't doing nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it every day. That's just, you know, I forgot what movie it was, but it was a guy who was with a woman and, you know, they were kind of struggling, but she felt like he was, you know, not trying to help, you know, kick the struggle away. But all along, he was in his bag back here doing some stuff, trying to get some stuff ready. She never saw that, so it never made her know that he was doing that. He never said anything. It was going to be like, okay, this is the person I love, this is the person I want to be with. I'm going to do this right here, and then one day we're going to look up, and that's going to be all the way the struggle just going to be gone. Mm-hmm. But she never saw it, so she just assumed. If she had asked him, maybe he would have said, you know what, baby, I do got some stuff cooking back here. I just didn't want to, you know, show you until I had it right. Because what do women always want? Everything to be perfect. Everything to be this. I want my wedding to go this. I want my 21st birthday party to go this. Oh my God, the balloons didn't make it on time. What we gonna do? It's not, come on now, like, calm down.
Not no calm down.
Calm down, yeah.
That's triggering.
Yeah, y'all have this mentality of everything has to be just so perfect. Like, I'm gonna do my hair tonight for this party. Oh my God, this curl just will not curl. I'm not going.
It's raining.
What?
I can't go.
Like it's stuff like that makes men say, okay, if she's that precise with stuff, I don't want to bring her something that's not really finished yet, and she goes, okay, what is that? Let me bring her that finished product, so I won't have to worry about her saying, you need to go do this or you need to go that. It's finished now. We on our way to the next thing. True. So that's where I feel like, yeah, we should not blame y'all for wanting that, but y'all shouldn't blame us either for not being there when you want us to be there.
Can't blame us.
You can't blame us for that. Now, yeah, you do have a point. If you, let's say you ask him, hey, like, what's going on? Nothing. I mean, have you tried to get a job? No.
I'm
have
chilling.
you looked? Not really.
Yeah.
And it's like another month later, you try to look for a job? Nah.
Ooh.
At that point, you say, okay, well, you showing me, you telling me, I can see that you are not trying to make no steps forward.
Yeah.
But if you don't assume that. Don't assume, stuff like that. Because, some people are just, more, private with different stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think it's like women are now expecting more just because we're not even receiving like the bare minimum.
Ooh, yep.
It's like we can't even get respect. We can't get commitment. It's just games. It's lies,
Excuses.
cheating, excuses. So it's like, okay, if we can't even get that, then at least let me get something tangible. At least let me get something worth me being here. Because if you're gonna waste my time, then at least I can get something out of it at the end of the day. So it's like I feel like women are expecting more just because, like, we're barely getting anything at this point.
And I want to flip this whole thing around and say women are expecting more, and this is I feel like it's not a big issue, but a somewhat of an issue for men. Women are expecting more now because they see other women getting it, and it's not really hard to get. That's another reason too.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's a valid point.
You gotta flip it around. Like, you might see this girl on Instagram, and all she had to do was XYZ to get this bag over here. So she said, okay, I'm finna go do this same thing to this dude over here, because it didn't take her a lot to get what she wanted. So let me do the bare minimum to get what I want.
I think,
and then it just goes over and over and over with asking the guy that stuff.
But I think a lot of women are finding out they're able to do it on their own, and sometimes even better than men. So I feel like our expectations are just higher.
That's a good point. I see where you're coming from at that, because it's like this. You're on level 5. I could be on level 5 too by myself. So if you're gonna be, with me, you gotta try to pull more of the wagon than I can, and shit. Sometimes I think men get offended by that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I think that's another
topic for another day.
It's another topic, but I think, like, as a man, like, at the end of the day, you have to choose who you want to be. As a man, as a father, as a brother, you really have to think about these things. Like, think about, if you died and you were at your funeral, you have to honestly think, what would people say about me as a person?
Yep.
And are you making the decisions and the choices right now that align with that person you want to be?
True.
If your actions right now aren't aligning with the person you want to become, most likely you're not going to get there. You can't say, oh, when I die, I want to be known as a good father, but you don't spend time with your kids, you don't teach your kids, you don't provide for your kids. You have to start making those decisions right now.
Make the changes that you didn't see.
But yep, that's it for this show, guys. So thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. Catch us the weekend or the Wednesday after next at 7:30. Follow us on HeSaySheSay Radio on IG and HeSaySheSay Crew on Twitter for updates.
And y'all subscribe, man.
Subscribe, like, share.
Tell your
Repost.
friends, family, grandmama, and them.
Cause we might have a little giveaway to somebody who subscribed one day.
All right, y'all. That's it. Bye. Bye.